What was that? It's a lump of lucky coal. Coal? I would have preferred chocolate. Any flavor, so long as it hasn't got marzipan in it. God, I hate marzipan. You can talk. I mean, you're a talking goat. Keep your voice down. This is between you and me, right? Well, I guess so. Now, I mean it. You tell anyone you've spoken to me, and you'll be cursed. Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Guaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, senor.
Me neither.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out, though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Take a look at the design on this label.
I have seen that before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We play to the tourists.
Well, when the condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
George Stillbird, well, of all
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
when you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an Army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged. Catch you later, Pearl. Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil-sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own.
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understood it.
What brings you to Quaramonte, Pearl?
What takes me just about anywhere is the market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the Great Design, George.
What do you make of this stone, Pearl?
Oh, that's pretty. What's that thing supposed to be, a rabbit?
I believe it's a coyote.
Well, it sure is cute.
I was surprised she didn't ask me where she could buy one. Catch you later, Pearl. It was one of the cell windows. There was a forlorn-looking guy asleep on the floor of the jail. It was Miguel. the pipe player.
Hey, Miguel!
He didn't hear me. It was Pearl's husband, Dwayne. Hey, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you again.
Do I know you, son?
George Stobart, remember? In Syria? I sold you a statue.
I remember that. Pearl was mighty vexed when the paint came off.
Look, I'm sorry. I'll give you back the $50.
No, you suckered me fair and square.
Are you still working for... you know who?
You know I can't talk about my work, George. That's between me and Uncle Sam.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Caramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Why did you bring a huge truck like that?
George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
Sure I do. You have to get up pretty early to catch Dwayne with his pants down.
What? You beat me to it?
Condor Transglobal is all wound up. Seems like my investigations scared them off.
Hey, Nico!
I have done just as I have been instructed, Professor. With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe your excavation. Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Senor. Welcome to Quarmonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Graciento, at your service.
This is the tourist office? It says police on the sign outside.
It is both, senor. I am a man of many parts.
I can see that, General.
Is it true there's a restriction on music in Quarmonte?
Yes, there is. An emergency measure introduced by Nuestra Senora.
Folk music is a link with the past for some of these people. Take away their musical roots and what do they got left?
Easy listening.
You think easy listening could replace a musical heritage hundreds of years old?
Why not? It happened in your country.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
No. No, I never heard of him.
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, Signor. Quaramonte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Ronaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour, when he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
I hear there was an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Oubier, a visitor, Signor, like yourselves.
Did you say Oubier?
Si, Signor. Professor Oubier, a French archaeologist.
What's Oubier doing in Quaramonte?
Researching our rich and glorious past, Signor. The professor is planning an expedition to some Mayan ruins. He came to see me to get an excavation permit.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
That's a native carving, isn't it? Where did you get it?
We picked it up in the market as a souvenir.
Take a look at this label.
Si, Signor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, Signor. I never heard of them, and neither did Ronaldo.
Are you sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here in Quaramonte City.
You are mistaken, Senorita.
The musicians out in the square say that a ship flying the Condor flag was berthed here.
They are simple peasants. They will go along with anything you say in the hopes of parting you from your money.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, Signor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor, whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Quaramonte?
Of course, Senorita. Unfortunately, all the records were destroyed by a flash flood.
I'll be back.
Signor. Leave the child alone.
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
Hello, senor. How can I help you?
I'd like to visit your prisoner.
Condemned prisoners aren't allowed visitors.
Condemned?
To death. He is to be executed. Knowing my luck, I will probably have to shoot him myself.
Amnesty International's gonna hear about this. I thought Miguel was arrested for playing the wrong kind of music.
Si, senor, he was.
And that carries the death penalty?
No. You think we're crazy? While being questioned, he confessed to being an anti-government agent.
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I can't. The General would have a fit if I left all this paperwork.
So long.
Why did you show him the stone?
I thought maybe he might know something about it.
Well, he does now, for sure. He knows we have it.
Did you notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes. It looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the General didn't want us to see it. You came on a little strong with the General.
I was merely flattering his ego, Georges. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe, but that guy's weakness isn't in his foot. Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something? That man we saw talking to the general was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Oublié, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah, it's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Quaramonte. Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu! Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house. Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh. Hey, Nico!
Hola, señora.
Hi. We were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, Chico.
Hi, my name is Nicole Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Quaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Have you heard of a man named Karzak?
No? Who is he?
He's the reason we came to Quaramonte. We think he's running a drug ring.
Well, I hope you find him, but I've never heard the name before.
Can you tell me about the accident at the mine?
Accident? It was sabotage. Somebody wanted my mine closed down for good.
Do you have any evidence that the mine was sabotaged?
Not yet, but I'll get to the bottom of it. There'd been trouble at that mine for several months. The workforce was getting smaller every day. Someone had started a rumor among the men that the mine was cursed. Now the entire operation has been closed down.
Where's the site of the mine?
Several days upriver at a remote area known as Teoculcan.
Do you know Professor Ubier?
Yes. I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the general. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the general be interested in an archaeologist?
Does this stone mean anything to you?
I think it is a spirit stone carved by a Mayan priest, no? I don't know which of their many gods it represents.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
Do you recognize the icon on this label?
Condor Transglobal.
Did the company operate here in Quaramonte?
Yes, they ran an old container ship, the Mayan Princess.
Do you know who owned Condor Transglobal?
I've no idea.
Have you heard about the forthcoming eclipse?
I don't take much interest in things like that. One of the boys might know about it. Keep out of there. That's where the explosives are stored.
Professor Oubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart. Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazakh, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
You shot her, didn't you?
No. I loved Carol. She meant the world to me.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
That's my business.
How much do you want for it?
It's not for sale. Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh, yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
A Central American god, right?
A supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There. You see the mirror shield in his left hand? The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims, and victims they gave him by the thousand.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices. The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here, to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
What plot?
I have no idea.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not the reason I'm here in Quaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
What's your interest in the eclipse, Professor?
Oh, it's purely a layman's curiosity. History is my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Does the eclipse have some special significance for you?
For me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good. I can't get enough of these things.
Hey, Nico! Hey, Nico!
Did you find any evidence of Condor's drug smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no! Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
So who was behind Condor Transglobal?
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever existed. Edan backwards spells Nady, Spanish for nobody.
Do you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
So the general is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better known as La Presidenta, the dictator.
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
Do you have any kind of detonating device in stock?
Sure. They're kept in that cupboard.
I don't suppose you have one spare?
I can't simply give you a device like that, no without a damn good reason.
The general has a chart in his office, which he was discussing with Ubier.
Perhaps that chart will tell us where they're heading.
Maybe, but I can't get anywhere near it while the general and his sidekick are there. Could you distract the general while I took a look at that chart?
You're kidding. Did you see the way he was leering at me?
Yeah, you'd make a great snake charmer. Come on, 5 minutes is all I need.
Well, maybe. But it's your harebrained scheme. You do the talking.
My girlfriend has a favor she wants to ask you, General.
For you, my dear, anything.
I've changed my mind.
Oh, no, you haven't. She's embarrassed about asking you for an interview, General.
An interview with me? Fabuloso!
Well, I want to write a story about you.
You hear that, Ronaldo? An exclusive glossy spread about your beloved general.
Si, Signor General.
Look after things here. I'm going back to my apartment and I don't want to be disturbed.
I'll get you for this, George Stobart.
Don't worry. If you're gone for more than a couple of hours, I'll come and get you.
A couple of hours?
Would you take my friend to the ruins now the General's gone?
I'd be honored, Signor.
Thanks. I'll go get her. I've made the arrangements for your visit to the temple, Pearl.
Oh, that's just great, George. Why don't you come too, honey?
I'd love to, but right now I have to save the world.
Listen, sweetie. I'm looking for an official guide to take me to the old pyramid.
For a lovely lady, I would go to the ends of the earth. For you, I will go as far as the pyramid and back. But what about your husband?
What he doesn't know won't hurt him. Let's go, Beanpole.
As Pearl and Ronaldo set out for the ruined pyramid, I prepared to search the police station. It was a computer monitor with some kind of outdated game displayed on it. I didn't have time to get sidetracked by playing computer games. Uh-oh. Not such a good idea. It looked like a geological survey map showing the land to the southeast of Cuaramonte City. About 60 miles inland and upstream was an area marked Teoculcan. I'm George Stobart. You're Miguel the musician, aren't you?
Ex-musician, senor. My career is finished.
Going to jail could be the boost your career needed.
Senor, I would rather die than live with this shame.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
Yes, the old man spoke of him.
The foreigner? Professor Ubier?
That's right. This man Karzak is Ubier's boss.
I got a good look at that chart in the police station. It's a map of Quaramonte.
Does it tell us where Ubier is heading?
Yeah, a place called Teoculcan.
That's the site of the mine! I wonder why they're being so secretive about Ubier's plans. One thing's for sure. If the general's involved, they're up to no good. I'd like to talk to that musician Miguel. Take the detonator and get him out of that jail.
Here is the detonator, Dwayne.
Keep your voice down, George. You want everyone to know. You'd best go and warn Miguel that the U.S. cavalry's on the way.
Okay. Hey, Miguel,
What is it? What is happening?
we're getting out of here.
Who's we? They've sent the Delta Force?
Nope,
The Impossible Missions Force?
don't make me sick. Much better.
Who then?
A retired greetings card salesman from Ohio.
I'm doomed.
You're not the only one.
I should have known you'd be trouble the moment I saw you.
Look, I can explain everything.
Get in that cell, now.
And what if I refuse?
He'll shoot you.
Okay, here I am, going quietly into the cell.
Very wise, not Americano scum.
One of the reasons I hate guns so much is the way they make people so damned impolite.
I hope you're enjoying your vacation, Senor Stovak.
Go polish your weapon, Ronaldo.
This was part of your plan, right?
Well, in a manner of speaking, no. I was all out of ideas. It was up to Nico now.
So, here we are.
You've changed.
I thought I would slip into something more comfortable.
The stench of cheap cologne rolled over me like tear gas.
So, what do you want to know about me? Ask and I will answer. I will deny you nothing. I am a very giving person.
How nice for your friends.
Your eyes are glittering like stars.
His damn cologne was making my eyes water. I was running out of sofa.
As spirited as you are beautiful, I admire that.
As long as he admired it from afar. A lava lamp, hip in a retro way. I had no doubt the general thought it was hip, full stop.
A lava lamp. Hip in a retro way. I had no doubt the general thought it was hip, full stop. Cutting-edge technology. In 1978, at any rate. A stuffed swordfish. It was a portrait of some thug in a uniform. I didn't want the lava lamp. I didn't want the lava lamp. Is that a lava lamp?
Sure, it's more impressive in the dark. I'll close the blinds.
No, don't do that. Not on such a beautiful day. Big fish. Catch it yourself?
Catch it. Fishing poles are for children.
Then how did... Are those bullet holes?
2 magazines on full automatic. It put up quite a fight.
I, love your TV.
Oh, yeah. Cool, no?
Who's the guy with the hat and the fat cigar?
My mother.
Mom, what is going on here?
Nothing, Mom. I was...
I'm in uniform. And when I'm in uniform, it's...
Madame la Presidente. Sorry, Madame la Presidente.
Now, what is going on here?
Nothing, Madame la Presidente. I was just showing my friend Nico some of the cool stuff I've got.
Hi.
Good afternoon, señorita. And just what are your intentions toward my son?
Intentions? We were just talking.
How nice. She has good bone structure now. Has she any brains?
She's a reporter.
Is she? And what sort of questions has she been asking?
I'm a freelance photojournalist. I do lifestyle features.
For what sort of magazines?
It looks safest to play dumb with good bone structure. Haya, lifestyle of the super rich and vainglorious, Envy magazine.
Excellent. Raoul, you've chosen well for a change.
It was pretty obvious who pulled the strings around here. I hope George was making good use of the time I was buying him.
And then it goes, pa 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 pa. And when you were in this band of yours, you used to play that song for 2 hours?
Yeah, we were really famous at our college. Still, ours wasn't as good as the original version.
I have never heard that song before, yet I have no doubt that this must be true.
Hey! Psst! Hey, George!
Dwayne Henderson. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. Get to the American consul and tell him I've been imprisoned without charge.
Get real, George. He was the previous occupant of that cell you're in. We're gonna have to use good old American know-how to get you out of there.
Uh-oh.
That, and this truck full of explosives I've got here.
Dwayne, listen to me. You'll kill all of us.
You're such a naysayer, George. It'll go like clockwork. Negative to negative, it's positive to you gotta get the bare copper wire here. Let me just, damn. All right, I'll just hook that up. There we go. Okay, just a minute. I've got to get to a safe distance.
Quick, Miguel, hit the mattress.
You have strange customs up north.
Here we go.
Too late.
Are we dead yet?
Horse shit.
What happened to the explosives?
There ain't no explosives. My dumbass supplier must have given me organic fertilizer instead of chemical. All I got here is 400 pounds of lightly fried horse apples.
That's a lovely image, Dwayne. Never mind, I'll think of something. Why is that noose hanging from the bars?
Ronaldo strung it up, for me to hang myself. Don't cry for me, Senor Stubbard. When I am dead, the goddess will take my soul to rest in paradise.
Listen to me, Miguel. You give me that rope, and I'll get us out of here. Is there somewhere you can hide from the General?
Of course. My friends have a boat ready to take me upriver. But how are you going to break out of here with just a short piece of rope?
I'm not sure, but I'll think of something.
If your plan doesn't work, will you let me hang myself in peace?
Give me a minute to think, Dwayne.
Okay.
I couldn't escape that way. Give me a minute to think, Dwayne.
Okay.
Hey, Dwayne, I want you to tie this rope to your truck and then drive forward. I'd had no idea whether this was really going to work, but I'd seen it in a black and white western. Of course, Hopalong was using a horse, and Dwayne had a 4-ton truck, but hey, the principle's sound.
Anything you say, George.
Please forgive my mother. She can be a little difficult.
Oh, my feet. Raoul! Propose, you idiot!
Don't mind her. She just wants grandchildren.
Don't think I can't hear you, Raoul. I want the worthy successor, and you're not it. Propose now, or I'll do it for you.
Look, Nico, we haven't known each other very long, but... What the hell was that?
I didn't know what was going on, but Georges had to be involved in it somewhere.
I ain't gonna say a thing, 'cause that sweet sound of falling masonry says it all.
Quick, senor, the river.
Huh? Wait, what about Nico?
Georges, what have you done? You only had to sneak a look at the chart, and it's turned into World War III.
No time to explain. Come on.
Don't move, terrorist scum!
You talking to me, Junior?
Yes, I'm talking to you, fat man, and my name's not Junior.
A word to the wise, Junior. You carry on waving that pea shooter in my face, and the next person who sees it is gonna be your proctologist. Savvy?
General, I am happy to report that I have apprehended the terrorists.
You idiot, not them! The other American and the French woman! They're the ones!
When I recovered consciousness, I was alone, washed up on the riverbank. My head was aching fiercely, and my mouth tasted like a swamp. At first, I thought the music I heard was in my head. Just my luck to wind up in paradise with a migraine. But I followed the sound and discovered a treehouse in a nearby clearing.